Estee Felton, and welcome to the Ingles table. Today, we are going to be preparing Hawaii-style pumpkin crunch. I found all the best ingredients at my local Ingles, so let's get started. I absolutely love this recipe. It is a great alternative to the classic pumpkin pie. So if you're tired of pumpkin pie or just want something a little bit different, I invite you to try this recipe. And it's really simple. You can make it even a couple days ahead before the big event. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix some pumpkin, followed by some evaporated milk, sugar, eggs, and what's pumpkin pie without a little bit of cinnamon? Once you get that into your bowl, you'll take a whisk and mix it all together until it's smooth. I love that beautiful orange color. It just reminds you so much of fall and so much of Thanksgiving. Once all this is mixed and incorporated, you're going to take the mixture and pour it into a pan that has been lined with some parchment paper. This is really important. You do need the parchment paper because of what we're going to do later on in the recipe. So make sure you have it nice and lined. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be covered. You'll take your pumpkin mixture and pour it into the parchment paper. Once it's in your parchment paper, you're going to take a yellow deluxe cake mix. And I got this at Ingles. It's the Laura Lynn brand. It's great and easy to use. I've already cut it open, and what you're going to do is you're going to take the cake mix and evenly spread it over the pumpkin mixture. This yellow cake mix is what's going to make the crunch in the cake. So make sure that your yellow cake mix is as even as possible. The pumpkin is very, very liquidy, so just be careful when you're trying to spread the cake mix around, not to press too hard. There, that's pretty even. Once you have that cake mix on top, we're gonna add nuts, and you can use whatever kind of nuts you want. Macadamia nut, walnut, pecan. I've used all three, but today I'm going to use macadamia nut. I love the macadamia nut. It's soft and has a really light flavor to it. So you're going to pour the macadamia nut, or whatever nut you choose, as evenly as possible over the entire pan. This is also going to add to that crunch. Again, you're going to gently press the macadamia nut into the cake layer, but not too hard. Once you have your cake completed, or your pumpkin crunch completed, you'll put it in the oven at 350 for about 50 to 60 minutes. I would check it at 50 minutes to make sure it's not burning on the top. If it's not and it's still a little bit wiggly, keep it in the oven for another 10 minutes. All right, so we've got our pumpkin crunch out of the oven and it smells amazing. And this is where the magic is going to happen. So the top part where we had put the cake mixture is going to become the crust. So how we do that is we're going to flip the whole entire dessert. I'm going to take my plate, I'm going to turn the entire dessert around. And because we use a parchment paper, this is going to be really easy. We'll just take the pan off and remove the parchment paper. And before you do this, you do want this to cool until it's room temperature. So you don't want to do this as soon as you take it out of the oven. Just make sure that it's cold. You can even put it in the refrigerator for a little bit to make sure that it's hardened. But now you can see the top of our pumpkin crunch is now the bottom, and that's going to serve as the crunch. And then you have your pumpkin layer, and the last layer is going to be a cream cheese whipped cream frosting, and that's what we're going to make right now. So I'm going to take my cream cheese, put it in the mixer, and some powdered sugar. And we're gonna let that mix until smooth. After the cream cheese and the sugar is incorporated, we're gonna add a little bit of whipped topping. I'm just gonna add about 3/4 cup. It's really up to you how much whipped topping you want to add. The more you add, the more frosting you'll have, and the lighter it'll be. So I'm gonna take about that much. And we're gonna mix again. Once that's fully incorporated, it's time to top our dessert. Just gonna take my spatula, take off the extra. We want as much frosting as possible on our dessert. Just gonna take the paddle off. Make sure all that goodness falls into my mixing bowl. Put that to the side, and now it's time to top. You can just kind of throw the frosting on there. We want it across the entire dessert. This is the yummy goodness. I love cream cheese. Anything with cream cheese, I am all for it. So after I got the cream cheese in the middle of my dessert, I'm gonna take my offset spatula and just make sure that it's nice and even throughout. And then take a once over and make it just a little bit decorative. Doesn't need to be perfect. And you can set this in the refrigerator and let it, you're gonna wanna serve it chilled. When you serve it, you can cut them into squares and then put some extra walnuts on it for that extra crunch. Perfect, and great for any family gathering or Thanksgiving get-together. Thank you so much for joining me here at the Ingles table. Be sure and check out the website for more tips, tricks, and recipes. I'll see you next time.